Welcome to the City Current Show, powered by Hagen-Botham Insurance and Financial Services.
This show focuses on sharing good news and powering the good in our community. Now here's your host, Andrew Bartolotta.
Welcome back to the City Current Show, where we bring you inspiring stories of individuals and organizations making a difference and powering the good in our community and around the globe. I'm your host, Andrew Bartolotta. He's a visionary in the field of information technology with nearly 35 years of experience under his belt. His company, Mind Over Data, headquartered right here in Memphis, Tennessee, has been creating interactive exhibits for some of the most prestigious museums and institutions across the country. From the Grammy Museum to the Blues Hall of Fame, and even interactive systems for local giants like First Tennessee, Hampton Hotels. He's done it all. Please join me in welcoming Tom Kirstein, managing partner of Mind Over Data. Tom, it's a pleasure to have you on the show.
Great to be here. This is awesome.
Of course. Okay, so first, start by telling us a bit about what inspired you to create Mind Over Data back in 2002.
Well, I was lucky enough when I was just starting out my career to do a lot of work that was consulting-like, even though I was working for larger corporations. And I had an opportunity in 2002 to start a company up doing what I found out I loved, which is, helping, basically taking technical experience and applying it to problems, which is, who would have thought, back when I was little, I didn't think that was something that would even be a job. So
my life motto is we will be known by the problems we solve. And looking over the work that you're doing, like you said, you are a true problem solver from the business side to consumer side and how that meshes together. You've worked with some incredible projects. Share a memorable experience or project that stands out to you.
Early on in Mind Over Data, about 20 years ago, we were working with ServiceMaster, and they were having their payrolls all done through mainframe, which is, it's not easy to get access to worldwide, right? So what we did is we worked with them to put a web front end on it, and that allowed them to get people onto their payroll quicker. One of the things that they found out is that they were having problems with collecting uniforms from people in their branches when somebody would leave the company, and it added up to a lot of money, like upwards of $1 million. And one thing that was interesting, and I keep on thinking back to it, just adding something we already had built, we just added a checkbox that said for the HR person that I confirmed that I've collected the uniform before I gave them their last check. And that one little checkbox took us about an hour of work, and it saved them upwards of $1 million.
I love that, because you're using your skill set and your expertise to really solve some of these unique problems that are costing companies millions of dollars, like you said. But for you, it's, an hour or two of work and implementation to create the systems in place to then solve these problems. One of the cool things that I love being a consumer and a visitor of museums and galleries is your interactive exhibits and custom systems development. And so talk about some of those projects that you've worked on with Mind Over Data.
Yeah, so some of the systems that we've done a little bit of we started out, actually, a customer came to us, actually it was the Grammy Museums out of LA, and they had some issues with one of their interactives. And they asked us if we could fix it, and we're looking at it, and it was something that we weren't able to fix, but we were able to redevelop and roll it out to them fairly quickly. And since then, we've had opportunity to work with a lot of other ones. Like I'm thinking, well, one of the more recent ones we rolled out during COVID was for National Museum of African American Music. And if anybody has a chance, it's great to go to. It's in Nashville. And one of the things that I'm really excited about there is, and it's fairly new, I hadn't seen too many people do this before, where you can walk through with a little bracelet, like an RFID. And as you're going through the interactives, you see something you scan it, and we custom make a personalized website for you. So as you're leaving the museum, you get to take some of it with you, which is kind of neat, and then show off to other people, which then brings more people into the museum. So
That is really cool and something that I have not heard about.
yeah.
And I love the customization of it for the user to then not only feel and take away some of their special moments across the museum, but then share it with others and encourage them to check out the museum.
Yeah, yeah.
What are some of the biggest challenges you faced in the tech industry? I can imagine that since 2002, I mean,
Mhm.
technology is just at a rapid pace of change. So, talk about some of those developments throughout.
I would say the biggest issue that I have is, and that I've found over time with any type of project-based work, is communication. So I don't know if that's something that you would think of in a tech industry, but you really need to make sure that you're on the same page with the person that you're doing the work for. So you really need to understand what they need and then communicate what you're about to do, because they may not be tech savvy. And so you need to be able to explain, hey, if you make this decision here, the effect of it may turn into this, 6 months down the road, that kind of a thing. And, and how do you overcome it is just practice.
When you look at the technology changes, like with AI, like beacons and projection mapping,
Yeah.
you did talk about the RFID like bracelets and stuff. What are some of the emerging technologies that you're really excited about with Mind Over Data and how they can implement in with the different industries?
Yeah. What I'm excited about is the machine learning stuff. I know that's probably a big thing everywhere, but I see, especially with interactives, you're dealing with people trying to educate people. And so being able to take and just dump a bunch of biographies into machine learning and have people ask questions and have it respond back with intelligent answers is it's pretty amazing. So I'm excited about that. And of course, I love augmented reality. So being able to integrate those, you're looking for experiences that people can't have easily at their desktop, at home. So being able to take things and put it into a framework where they can learn something and make it fun, and it's not something they can do anywhere.
Great answer. And I love the accessibility part of it as well, because it's so great to break down some of the barriers for those that may not learn the same way as others. And so bringing in that technology is super cool there. You've also developed systems for the healthcare industry, which is really neat, such as the patient attendance improvement system for West Cancer Center. How do you
Yeah.
tailor your solutions for different technology or for different industries?
Um, I don't want to bang on the same drum, but it's really listening and understanding their business. Because what you're looking for is understanding their workflow, understanding what they're doing, and trying to apply technology in a place where it might make a difference. And so that's really what it comes down to. Is we work with a ton of different industries. Almost every single one of our jobs is something a little different. Like we did some work creating a workflow or a system that would help control chemical reactors, all the way to doing budgeting systems, to interactives. And every one of them, the first step is to come in and just find out, all right, what is the environment I'm in? What is their business? And where are their pain points? And looking to see if you can find some kind of a match for technology where it might help.
Yeah, I totally agree on that. And when you look back at your experiences at Universal Solutions, the Disney Store, R. Donnelley and Sons, how have they shaped your career and approach at Mind Over Data?
I really think that those were all jobs that put me under pressure early. They dumped me into the deep end, and I had to aggressively learn to be able to handle it. And so and being in a tech industry, you really have to learn, you have to enjoy it, and it has to be something where you can take what you're learning and apply it quickly. And I think that was one of those things that I guess I was just lucky, and I was willing to say yes to jobs that I may not have, I might have been afraid of doing normally because I was pretty young at the time. So I think that was a big deal.
Definitely. And I love how our career, when you look back, for some it may seem like a lot of random learning, but then when you accumulate all of your learnings and education throughout the different industries that you've worked in,
Yeah.
and then see it within your career, you realize just all of the lessons that you've learned. What's maybe one lesson or two? I'm curious on the Disney store side. Was that a tech job as well? And what are some of the things implemented within there?
Well, in the Disney store, that was tech. That was basically there's three of us that were in charge of a facility. It was the size of 16 football fields. It was a warehouse.
Wow.
And 3 stories tall. It was huge. It was a big place, and we had three of us. There's 300 people working there on the floor. So yeah, anytime the system was down, there's 300 people just sitting there looking at you. So the big thing that I learned there, that's the job that I had right before I started getting into the consulting industry, was they had a warehouse management system that was a shrink wrap package, and they just needed 5% of it changed. And it was 2 years of hard work, 2 years of 6 days a week, trying to make sure that thing would still work with all of the systems that were all in place already. So, and I guess that's why I kind of went into the custom side of things, because I learned that from that, taking a shrink wrap package and just changing 5% of it, someone could just write a whole, in a lot of cases, you could write a custom system that's exactly for you in the same amount of time. So, and probably less pain in some cases.
How even just when you're changing just 5%, how it has a ripple effect across, 300 plus employees and just in that space, and then how you can replicate that across just the entire industry. I love that sort of sparks the custom solution side on consulting for you. Switching gears a little bit, as a Chicago native now based in Memphis, how do you find the tech scene here compared to other cities you've worked in?
What's wild is I really, in Memphis is the first place I've really gotten involved in the tech scene. And one of the first places that I joined up with was, I don't know if you remember, anybody knows Lick the Toad. Lick the Toad was an older group. And I remember I was involved in that for a little while, and I actually spoke a couple times. And then I ran the Macromedia and Adobe user group here for a few years. And then, and currently I've been kind of dipping my toe into Unity software development for games and stuff. And so I've been spending some time a little bit here and there with the Memphis Game Developers Group. And so I love it because there's any type of group or anything you want to learn about or join up with a group, there's something here. So
Memphis is a large city, but a small city at heart when you look at the connections that you're able to make and the opportunities that you're able to be at the table with CEOs and those working in Fortune 500 companies, and being able to, like I said, have a seat at the table, bring your expertise and learn from others, which is pretty unique. What advice would you give to aspiring tech entrepreneurs looking to start their own ventures?
Well, I think everybody's a little bit different on this because for me, I had to feel comfortable knowing that I had a ton of experience under my belt before I started something. And then I would say another big thing that I learned over time the hard way is make sure that you have good people that you can work with, in that they're good at things that you're not good at. Like for me, business side and negotiating are not the greatest. I have no problems with the technology solving problems part, the actual functional part of my job. But the business side and negotiating, you really need somebody good to help fill in those gaps.
Finally, what's next for you in Mind Over Data? Any exciting projects on the horizon that maybe you can tease with us? And then where can people go to learn more about you, Mind Over Data, and support your efforts?
The work that is usually exciting for some of our developers, rather than doing a lot of just business stuff, is the interactive. So that's what a lot of us are looking forward to. We're about to start work on interactives, a bunch of interactives for the Red Rocks Amphitheater in Colorado. We are probably early next year, we're going to start work on Bruce Springsteen interactives for his museum up in New Jersey. The place to find out more about what we're doing is at our website, which is mindoverdata.com, which is mind-over-data.com.
Well, Tom, thank you so much for coming on the show, sharing your expertise, talking about the amazing work you're doing in the tech world and how right here from Memphis, Tennessee, you're working with global institutions. Thanks for inspiring us and powering the good in our community.
It's great to be here. Thank you very much.